My wisdom flows from a higher source. I salute that source indeed. Come, let us work together. Come, let us work together. Come, let us work together. Welcome to now with Damien Comet and Interfaith Ministries worldwide. All of it today. Let's for a moment, just a brief moment. Focus. Let us focus. Let us focus our attention on goodness. Let us focus our attention on well-being. Let's bring our minds for this moment into a garden area. A beautiful garden that we can hear the stream running through the garden. We can hear the rustle of the flowers and the bushes in this beautiful garden. Where you see it's in this garden that the mind of God is. Some of you've asked, when you send prayer requests, you put them at the bottom of the page. Do we really pray on those? I do, yes. I take them, and for 30 days I personally pray in the mornings in my 4 o'clock hour. It's been a tough week. We need to bring some people into the garden for healing and prayer. You know, this week, one of my favorite people told me that he's going into hospice and has maybe 2 months at the most to live. At DAP Health this week, a lady stopped me and she said, "Would you please pray for me?" She said, "I'm having to have hip replacement surgery and I'm fearful." And another lady stopped me and she said, "I'm having cancer in my body. I really need you to pray for me." And then on Wednesday, I noticed this little man coming in the door, and he was in a walker. And instead of him coming to me, I went to him. And the tears were running down his face, and he said, "I lost my partner of 30 years this week." And he said, "I just don't know what to do." And I put my arms around him and I said, "You know, it's gonna take time. It's a process." And he said, on top of that, he said, "I fell on a stake and ran it through my behind. And now I have to walk in this walker." And I said, "You know what? We're going to bring you collectively in prayer, because affirmative prayer does work." Whatever you have a need of right now, let's just take a breath and whisper that prayer. And as you whisper that prayer, know and understand that God, not a Santa Claus on the cloud, but God, Creator, the Divine, is using all things for our good and has everything under control. And on this first day of May, and so it really is.
Oh, thank you so much, Reverend Gabe. You know, there's quite enough love right here in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough peace, quite enough power to walk through my every fear. For Spirit, God's Spirit, is in this very in this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough peace, quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, God's Spirit, is in this very room. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace, quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, God's Spirit, is in this very room. Oh yes. Is in this very room. There's quite enough love, quite enough peace, and quite enough power right here with us right now. Give me one moment in time when I know that I knew I could be right there. In that one moment in time, I will be, oh yes, we will be free. Oh, you're a winner for a lifetime when you live each moment in time. Let it shine. Give us one moment in time when we're all that we knew we could be. Oh, I dare in that one moment in time, I will be. Oh yes, we will be free. Oh, yes, yes, we will be free. Oh, yes, we will be free. Well, once again, welcome everyone to Interfaith Ministries Worldwide. As I said in the beginning, wherever you are on your journey of spirit, you are welcome, loved, and accepted. This is a way of life where we honor all paths to God. Our mission is to heal, inspire, empower, and prosper the world through love, prayer, meditation, and by sharing the principles and applications of successful living. Oh, what a wonderful, glorious day it is. And we are so happy that you could join us because we know you just didn't show up here by accident.
Right.
There is going to be a message here today for you. Now, I know that every week we have new viewers, and they're always asking, what is Interfaith Ministries all about? Well, I'm going to tell you right now what we believe. We believe in God, the one power, presence, source, and substance of all that is, whose will for us is eternal bliss, love, health, prosperity, and good fortune. We believe the power and presence of God is within us, and that we can use that power to accomplish anything through our desires, beliefs, thoughts, words, and actions. We believe there are many paths to God. We embrace and support every person's right to worship as he or she chooses. We believe we are eternal and are given unlimited opportunities. We believe in the law of life that states we get back what we give out.
Yes, we do.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Well, I'm going to state our affirmation, and I would love for you to join me because, you know, when you present an affirmation, you feel it to the soles of your feet. We embody it. It becomes part of our life. So please join me on this affirmation. The force that ignites the universe, the force that ignites the universe and breathes life into it, and breathes life into it. Life within me right now. Life within me right now. Wherever I go, wherever I go, God is always with me.
God
is always with me.
Yes.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Now, if you or someone you know is in need of affirmative prayer, please place it in the comment box and know that our ministry of prayer will pray over it for 30 days because we do know affirmative prayer does change things. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Damien.
Thank you, Fleet. Maybe a month ago, or maybe 2 months ago, I'm not sure. Time gets away from me. The Buddhist monk, and I'm not going to say his name right, Thich Nhat Hanh, who wrote this book called True Love and who is revered around the world, made his transition. And the reason that I mention that is because I'm going to do a reading that he wrote. And this is what he wrote, and I want you to listen to me. At any moment, you have a choice that either leads you closer to your spirit or further away from it. At any moment. So if I ask you, how are you feeling in this moment? If you're not feeling great, Are you willing to make an effort to focus your attention so that you begin to feel better? If we find something that we can appreciate, that is a good start of, of that. Now, I'm just sitting there, and the thought came to my mind that the month of May is going to be about the anatomy of the spirit. We know what our physical anatomy is, but some of you look at me like you don't know what I'm talking about when I talk about we're spirit or how spirit works. And I get that because we talk in a kind of a different language to express it. So I'm going to give you a little tiny bit today on this. This isn't my message. My message is on a gratitude today. But spirit is that part of you that seeks purpose. That part of you that is seeking purpose, that is spirit. That part of you that seeks hope, that situations happen and you hope, that is spirit. So when those two things are happening, then you can be aware that, oh, this is spirit, not the ego mind, but the spirit that is working through you. Now, next Sunday, my talk is going to be on Are You at the Crossroads? And I'm going to be speaking on crossroads in our life. Our ministry is at a crossroads right now. I will be talking about that also. What do we do when we come to the crossroads in our life? The end of this month, May, has 5 Sundays. We have our in-service meeting the last Sunday of every month, and the wonderful, delightful, fabulous Keisha D is going to be our special guest with her vibrancy and her inspiration, and of course, the great talent that she is, the vocal talent. So she will be with us that last Sunday of this month. And then for the month of June, the last Sunday of the month, our in-person service, my talk is going to be Don't Let Your Faith Be a Drag. And I'm having the incomparable female illusionist, vocalist, Bobby Drake, as my guest. He will be in full face. I probably will be too, because I'm asking people to come in drag for that particular service. June is Pride Month. We're going to be focusing on different levels of pride. And then more surprises coming your way. So, you know what? That's all I'm going to say right now is remember this. The choices we make either are bringing us closer to spirit or they are moving us away from spirit. Think about that today.
Thank you, Reverend Damien. And also, I see our dear friend Virginia is out there watching today and is asking for prayers. So if everyone could please send out wonderful prayers, energy to her, whatever she's dealing with. We know it is all in divine order and everything is working perfectly for her. Well, I was thinking about gratitude today, and I love this beautiful song that was recorded by Mr. Josh Groban. There's so much to be grateful for. Some days we forget to look all around us. Some days we can't see the joy that surrounds us. So caught up inside ourselves. We take when we should give. So for today, we pray for what we know can be. And on this day, we look for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change. And even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be grateful for. Look beyond ourselves. There's so much out there. It's not too late to give thanks and show care. Each of us must find our truth. It's so long overdue. So for today, we pray for what we know can be, and every day we look for what we still can't see. It's up to us to be the change. And even though we all can still do more, there's so much to be grateful for. Even with our differences, there's a place we're all connected. Each of us can find each other's life. So for today we pray for what we know can be. Yes, and on this day we look for what we still can say. It's up to us to be the change. And even though this world needs so much more, there's so much to be grateful for. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Reverend Damien.
Beautiful, Fleet, beautiful. So Cicero said, gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but that it is the parent of all others. But do you realize that 90% of people think that gratitude makes you happier and gives you a more fulfilling life? Do you realize that 90% of the people think that? But do you also realize that less than half of the people regularly practice gratitude? If we actually think it gives us a better life, more fulfilling life, why don't we practice it? Gratitude is studied scientifically by people. The leading scientific expert on gratitude is Dr. Robert Emmons. And this is what he said, and I'm going to point it at your brain so you understand this today about gratitude. It says that gratitude has two parts. It has an affirming goodness in one's life, that's one part, and recognizing that the sources of this goodness lie at least partially outside the self. While the basic gratitude is invoked by external events. You go to the bank, you have money in the bank. Wow, we're so grateful. Your husband buys you a new car you didn't expect, and gratitude. You're grateful that people came to see you that you like. External events. You're grateful that you have a new house. You're grateful that you have a job, and these are external events. But the spiritual discipline of gratitude is intentionally chosen, deliberately trained, and exercised in all circumstances. It is not dependent on changing conditions, but on a mindset. It is not waited for, but pursued. The spiritual discipline of gratitude leaves behind the realm of simple emotion and instead becomes an attitude, a way. And I want to concentrate on that. I've talked to different talks about when I came back to the United States, and I found myself homeless. At 55, I found myself homeless and on the street. I did not jump up and down and say, "Oh, I'm so grateful that I'm homeless and I'm on the street. And I'm so grateful that I don't have my Jaguar anymore. And I'm so grateful that I don't have the condo that I was living in when I left 3 years ago." That's stupidity. I realized that what I was grateful for was my tenacity. What I was grateful for was that internally I was stronger than what I thought I was. There's a line that I quote a lot of times from the Course in Miracles, and I live this line, and it says, if you knew who walked beside you every day on the path that you have chosen, you would never fear or doubt again. And that's not a mental knowing, that's a conscious knowing. So while I'm on the street and I'm living in doorways, well, I was grateful that I lived in a doorway for a little while because it was rainy. I wasn't grateful that I was on the street. That was an external circumstance that was happening. I was grateful that I really realized that this is simply the earth school. This is the earth school. And every choice that we make, ladies and gentlemen, either brings us closer to spirit or takes us away from spirit. It's the choices, not the circumstances that happen in our life. Yes, when I was riding the bus, learning how to ride the bus in LA, because I didn't know how to ride the bus. And I remember, just like if it was a loud, audible voice, but spirit speaks to me in my intuition inside and in my mind. But it was so loud that I turned around when this thought came and says, "So you think you're better than everybody else on this bus, huh?" And I just, no, why would that? Well, you never sit down on the bus. You don't sit next to those people. Look at that lady over there, the one that you think is a little Mexican lady that's scrubbing toilets and things. You think you're better than her. No, I don't. Oh, really? What about the man that is homeless out there and his junk is hanging out and he's soiled his pants and everything? You really think you're better than him, don't you? No. Well, guess what? That's you. You're just dressed up a little nicer. And ladies and gentlemen, the next stop where the bus stopped, I got off and I sat on a bench and I wept. It wasn't even my stop. I said, let me never forget. Let me never forget that when I see God in you and you see God in me, there's only one of us here. I know we say that as a cliche so often, but as we begin to work and to pursue the training of our spiritual intentional gratitude, then we begin to see God in each other. We begin to see love in each other. And as we begin to do that, we begin to have that move through our being. An attitude of gratitude is the fastest way to bring blessing than anything that I know. Do you know, I went to work for a gym and I was sleeping in the Greyhound station and Union Station. They didn't know I was sleeping there. And I got the keys to the gym. I was grateful because when the gym closed at 10 at night, I went in and in the chiropractor's waiting room, I slept on the couch. And at 3:30 in the morning, I got up and took a shower. I was grateful, external. And I was so grateful that I said to my owners, I said, you know what? We have a lot of merchandise here with our name on it. We need to be advertising it. It'd be great if I wore it because I leave at noon and I ride buses and things and people would see who we are. They said, of course. I was grateful. I practiced gratitude. If there's something happening in your life, I'm not saying you have to be grateful for a thing, okay? If someone dies in your family, well, unless there's an inheritance, maybe you jump up and say you're grateful. No. If there is a loss in your family, then you begin to go inside and understand that you're grateful for the comfort that God, the Holy Spirit, brings to you in that moment. Research has shown that practicing gratitude boosts the immune system. All of you that are HIV, it bolsters resilience to stress. Do you realize that over 46% of the American population is living in stress and such a high level that they're having to seek mental health, and there's not enough mental health providers to go around? Living in gratitude, practicing it, lowers depression, increases a feeling of energy. You feel lethargic? Begin to deliberately practice gratitude, determination, and strength. And it even helps you sleep better at night. Now, practicing gratitude does not mean that we deny life's hard edges and sharp sorrows. It simply means that while gratitude recognizes the dark corners of existence, that our attention is focused on all that is beauty, on all that is joy, on all that is goodness, and all that is truth that is typically overlooked. when we're having difficult times. In this, gratitude, in fact, opens one's eyes to a more expansive view of reality. You know what it's like? It's like putting on a pair of glasses and going, oh, wow, that's what I've been missing. Through the lens of gratitude, we become better to recognize the good, to see the many gifts, to see the benefits, to see the mercies that are present in our life that we would otherwise would remain hidden and ignored. The presence of gratitude counteracts negative vices. You know those: envy, resentment, greed. You know those. When you are grateful for what you have, you spend less time comparing yourself to others and less time making poor, fruitless decisions based on those comparisons. Dr. Brett Atkins said it this way: when people share positive emotions like gratitude with each other, brain scans show their brains sync up and show similar activities. You increase your natural capacity for love. If we needed anything in this world right now, we need more love to be unfolded in our lives, in our world, in our country. You know, years ago, we didn't have the internet. You didn't know in a moment's time what was going on in another country. In today's world, we have got to increase our natural capacity for love. Once you realize this, life doesn't owe you anything. Life doesn't owe you anything. Just because you're white privilege, hello, life doesn't owe you anything. And when you realize life does not owe you anything, everything, everything, everything becomes a gift. I remember when I went to work at the gym, and one of our owners, Dr. Lee, every day, nobody knew. I didn't look like I was what we typically think a homeless person looks like. I often say, you don't look like where you're at, you look like where you're going. And I remember spending the night in the doorway with these two guys one night, and I said, can I sleep here in the doorway with you guys tonight? I'm homeless. And one guy said, if you're homeless, you're an uppity homeless. And the other one said, I'll let him stay here. The next morning when I left their presence, I said this: I won't be back here tonight, because if you're back here tonight in your consciousness, this becomes your home. So through my journey of things that were happening that were out of my control, I was grateful for the lessons that I was learning. And with each lesson, it was, dear God, what is the lesson in this today for me? Not, well, why is this happening to me? What is the lesson in this for me today? I'm grateful that I am learning the lesson in it. So when I went to work for the gym, one of the owners, he ordered lunch every single day for the first 3 months and asked me, what would you like to eat for lunch? Now, they didn't know that I was homeless and stuff. I hid that from people. You know, I'm an Aquarian, hey, when things don't go well, we hide, okay? And later on, when I came out about it, he said the reason I did that was because I would have to pay a delivery charge if I didn't order a second lunch. Now, that was his thinking, but the God thinking was, as I am grateful when I stop and say, give us this day, give me this day my daily bread. And so it was. I wasn't like the ones that grumbled in the Bible because they were eating manna. I said, thank you, God, for this. So as we become more grateful, then we realize that everything becomes a gift. And you're a gift to this ministry today. And so it is.
Thank you so much, Reverend Damien. You know, when I selected this song today, You've Got a Friend, I was thinking, well, yes, you've got a friend in me, but you know what? We also have a friend in God. He's always with us. He's given us a power within inside of us that we can use. So, you know what? Not only am I your friend, but God is your friend too. When you're down and troubled and you need a helping hand, and nothing, no, nothing is going right, just close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, now all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend. If the sky above you should turn dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, just keep your head together and call my name out loud, and soon I'll be knocking on your front door. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, now all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. Ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? There we go. They'll hurt you and desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Oh, but don't you let them. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, now all you have to do is call, and I'll be there, yes I will. You got a friend. Ain't it good to know you got a friend? Oh, it's good to know you got a friend. You know you got a friend in me and God. Oh, yes, you got a friend in me and God. Well, I love it. Don't you love live broadcasts? You know, I think the orchestra, what happened was the music slid off the music stand, so they had to find it again. But it's all good. We love it, don't we? Well, you want to come up here and join me,
No,
Reverend
I'm
Damien?
gonna run
We're
this.
going to close up here. You know, as I say every week, we post down below, and I posted that if you have found great value out of this, we love your tithings and your blessings, because without you, we wouldn't be here. We need your love and tithings to keep our ministry going. I did post below where you can send your tithing to a P.O. box or to PayPal. So if God leads you to that, that's wonderful. And we know not everybody is able to do that, but you know what? We still send our blessings out to everyone, because you need a blessing today. We all need a blessing today. So I just wanted to mention that. And now, Reverend Damien, he's getting ready here to join us. And we're going to close out today. And like I said, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. Now, Reverend Damien, do you have, I know you always have a few words for our viewing audience.
Well, you know what I always say, right? Kindness. Kindness is the language the deaf can hear, and kindness is the language the blind can see. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other.
Yes, yes. Because you know why? It's in every one of us. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart. Open up all your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, you and I. It's in every one of us, you and I. Oh, thank you so much for joining us today. As I said, wherever you are on your journey of spirit, you are welcome, loved, and accepted. Now, go out and have a beautiful, blessed day. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye till next week.